Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. This was just in the recommended of the last video of Mastermind. And it had a lot of views, and let's just see. I'm going into this blind. I do not know.
Hello, lady.
You ought to get up and come and join us now.
Right up your nose.
Come and join us. Leave the brakes off.
I see, I thought the show was live. He's dead. Hello, Ned. Hello, Ned. Oh, Terry, Morgan, what have they done to you? He's had the operation. Go on, show us.
Sorry, just before I go on, don't look at what I type in. Close your eyes. I don't know what's going to autofill. If it's weird, it wasn't me. It was my Spike Milligan. Spike Milligan was an Irish actor, comedian, writer, musician, poet, and playwright. Renaissance man, eh? The son of an Englishman. Born in colonial India. He was born 10 years after my great-grandma. Okay. I'm just wondering, because like it has a lot of views, and... Oh, God, where was I? Right here. Okay.
Was it painful? Go on, show us. Was it painful? Oh, have you got the bits left? How's the wife taking it, Terry? Oh, he'd do anything for publicity, this man.
Spike, you know this man.
What? I've known him for years. He's frightened of heights.
Where did you meet?
Right?
I met him in North Africa.
In the middle, we met in the middle.
Middle of a battle.
Yes.
Remember that he was a 7.2 gun howitzer man, weren't you?
That's right.
And
Better?
we dug gun pits.
Bang! But much louder. Bang.
Wait, how can you talk with him about? We had some gun pits dug for his lot.
How's
Guys, if there's anything like really significant or cool or funny that he says that I have a blank stare at, I please explain it to me in the comments. You guys always do. I love you for it so much that you're willing to bear with my... But if he says anything really funny or something that I didn't understand, please let me know what it was. It's just the accent and the...
Why, how's the wife taking this, though, Terry? Is it separate beds now?
This is the gun store.
Who gets the underpants? Who gets the jockey pants?
You tell the gun story then. You're taller
The
than I
gun
am.
store.
I've just had a few drinks, that's all.
Oh, well done.
I have been well done in my time.
Anyways, these guns, I'll finish it if it kills me, I'll tell you. These guns were on top of a plateau. We hadn't built the gun pit big enough for it, and they fired this gun on a lanyard at night on a bit of rope. And I was in a truck at the bottom of a cliff.
Near Tukaba, good heavens.
And this thing came over the cliff and missed us by a few feet. The gun itself, and I thought, if they're firing guns at it, it's time we packed it in.
That's a huge gun. It's a massive gun. Huge.
And we didn't know what had happened, you see. All we knew this terrible clatter outside, and there was not a kerfuffle, and then suddenly the flap of the truck opened, and this face appeared and said, "Anybody seen a gun?" And we said, "What colour?"
Yes. That's why I was amazed you didn't get killed, Harry, you know what I mean?
It was near.
It was very near, yes, we tried, yes.
He felt the draft.
Were you happy as soldiers? Were you happy soldiers, Spike?
I was divinely happy as soldier.
He was a good soldier.
Was he a good soldier?
Yes, I was good. I was a very good soldier, yes.
What makes a good soldier?
Fear.
No, he was a very smart sergeant. I was a very scruffy lance bombardier.
Yes.
And we finished up in a concert party in his scruffy lance bombardier.
Lance Bombardier.
Yes.
And we finished up in a concert party in Italy, didn't we?
Now, what was that? That was the Combined Services Entertainment
That's
Unit.
right, yes.
That's right, and we were it.
But what,
He
What
was
did
the
you do?
combined bit, and I was the service.
how did you entertain the troops? What did you do?
Well, I
finished-
should drop
yeah.
my trousers and whistle Ave Maria.
You couldn't whistle very well.
I don't think I'm going down very well here tonight. I should have stayed home and bottled gooseberries.
But we were eventually finished up in CSE after having done regimental concert parties and things.
Guys, I really want to understand this. I know I'm rewinding. I don't want to hear it.
I should have stayed home and bottled gooseberries.
But we were eventually finished up in CSE after having done regimental concert parties and things. And this was a program called Over the Page, wasn't it? The big show called Over the Page.
That's right, yes.
And we played all the big theatres around Italy. And he was in an act then called the Bill Hall Trio, with a fellow called Bill Hall who played the violin very well.
You were-
Spike,
what were you playing, Spike?
guitar.
I played the guitar.
Guitar, not trumpet.
Not trumpet.
When did trumpet
I played
come?
the not trumpet. I played the not trumpet, and I played the guitar.
And a fellow called Johnny Mulder. I'll be the voice of sanity. Johnny Mulder.
That's news to me, but
Johnny Mulder played the bass.
I'm doing this for children in need. Don't worry, I'm not one of these people going to cause a bit
You really
of trouble.
shouldn't be here.
I'm from children doing it for children in need. I've been sponsored by my friends.
I don't want to catch it.
It's all right. I've been sponsored by my friends. They said if I come on the show, they'll give a huge amount of money for children in need.
bless you.
And
Been
I've
on
got
the
to
show, and
stay
that's
on here
wonderful.
till the end of the show.
No, you mustn't do that.
Oh,
Off you
okay.
go.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. And thanks for your kind donation.
Then contact them and say it. How do they know? You.
Oh, wait a minute. They should let him stay on, shouldn't they? Yeah. It's the dreadful machine.
She's like,
It's what the machine's attending.
He's here. He's going to stay.
Yeah,
He's
he'll
going
be
to stay with us.
Yeah.
And they're going to give their money.
Yeah.
See me after the show,
Seriously.
and I'll beat the shit out of you. Only joking, only joking. Only joking. At last,
To try.
unleaded water.
And yes, I just wanted to find out, Spike, I want to talk about trumpets. Listen, loves and hates in music. Music. I want to talk about music for a bit. I'm married to a musician, and music's important to me. Is it important to you?
Yes, I'm a musician and also a composer. Believe it or not, last month, my mother lives in Australia, in Woy Woy, and for the 200th centenary of Australia, I wrote a piece for Grand Waltz of Brisbane Waters, which was performed by the Gosford Symphony Orchestra at Sydney Opera House last month. How about that? It's very strange to see Beethoven, Haydn, Spike Milligan. Yes.
when was the Sydney Opera House constructed?
That's that bit over.
But what's your hates? You've got hates. I know what you hate. I'm going to say it. Muzak.
Oh, gosh, it's not music. That's a perversion, isn't it, you know?
Well, what is it? It's on everywhere. If you listen, if you're made to
lift.
hold on a
Muzak,
telephone, you
yes.
get music.
They're taking our photograph over there.
But I remember you taking the music thing off the wall once.
I pull it off the wall and lift, you know. Well, you get into a lift,
What's Muzak?
and they start a piece of music, and by the time you get to the fourth floor, it hasn't finished. So I just
going up and down.
pulled it off the wall, just like this.
When you left the army, and you really were the one who introduced everybody to each other of the goons.
Well, I
didn't you?
met Spike, as I
He
said, in the
introduced,
army.
he introduced me to each other.
Yes, and each other to you. And you brought Mike Benteen and Peter Sellers together.
That's right. We were to meet at the Jimmy Grafton's part. I met Mike Benteen at the windmill after when he played there.
Yes, they were making flour and bread.
Windmill Theatre.
At the Windmill
Windmill
Theatre,
Theatre.
making flour and bread. Okay, have it your own way. Thank you.
Spike, when the
By the way,
goons-
guys, just because I can't understand a lot, I have been more like kind of getting used to it. Doesn't mean I don't enjoy this stuff. I really do think it's fascinating. Just old videos of all kinds, but especially older British videos where it kind of gives me a challenge. So, hey, if I wasn't having a good time, I'd stop the video. But, you know.
Desperate clapping.
Give the lady a chance.
When the goons,
Okay.
when the goons
What time?
started,
Yeah.
who invented the idea? How did they arise? And didn't you write the scripts? Answer,
Yes, he
please,
did.
one part of
It started off with we used to meet at Jimmy Grafton's pub down in Westminster and make up things between us. There were four of us, just mucking around. And then the idea came that we should present it as a show. And the idea was taken up by the BBC. We had a pilot show, right?
Yes, I was a pilot in the RF and then do the rear gunner. And this language is so fraught.
We had a pilot show. And,
It's a pilot everywhere, didn't we?
Pat Dixon,
How old
that's
is the
right, we did.
BBC?
Pilot over here.
Guys, how old is the BBC? Like the British Broadcasting Center? Is that the oldest news? You know what I mean.
Pilot show.
The rear gunner. This language is so fraught.
We had a pilot show. And,
It's a pilot everywhere, didn't we?
Pat Dixon, that's right, we did.
Pilot over here.
Did you rehearse, Spike? Did you rehearse the shows?
Did you rehearse anything?
Well, we used to. Well, there was a lot of ad-libbing, and the BBC used to cut everything out that was ad-libbed, and they just left what was in the essence. But there's some very, very funny ad-libbing, you know.
Who invented the characters? Did you invent the characters, or did you sort of they emerge with their voices too?
They happened like childbirth. You never know what was coming next, you know. And we just occurred. I think I saw Harry as the little man of England. You know, I'm on the way. I can fight for England and fight for the Union Jacks and all that. And he's still a bit like that. And then Harry Sellers was very good at well, it just happened. It just happened.
The thing was
God, this is boring. God, this is boring.
Oh, I'm so sorry. God, I'm so sorry.
Bill, Mike Bentine and Spike had similar ideas together because
Like suicide.
Mike used to throw ideas like sparks on a caffeine wheel, and Peter had all the voices. It was a great combination, really. It just happened that way.
I know it's boring actually talking about things that's always happened.
Oh, yes, it
becomes
is.
Stumped.
It's very
It becomes
boring.
stumped is the thing. You have to keep on saying it again and again, don't
I'd
you?
like to talk about Hitler's secret laundry list, if you must know.
Yes.
Yes.
What would you like to talk about?
About another minute, I think.
Have you been writing letters today, Spike?
Yes, I do write letters, yes.
I've heard that you write a lot of letters. I was told you write masses of letters.
Not really, I sometimes write. It's the last sort of...
Little fact, I think, I don't know if this is Voltaire and then H.P. Lovecraft were like the 1 and 2 most letters written in their lifetime. I think that's kind of impressive and shows you're pretty smart.
A lot of letters. I was told you write masses of letters.
Not really, I sometimes write. It's the last sort of repository of democracy is to write to a newspaper.
You wrote to Private Eye and put in an advertisement for a rich widow.
Yes, but wanted to meet rich, well-insured widow, intention, murder. And I've had 48 replies.
I remember coming to a book launch of yours, which was at the Imperial War Museum, and that book had the most astonishing collection of things that you'd collected over the years, from when you were a soldier as well. You're a terrific collector of things, Spike. Do you hoard things? You'd collected all sorts of lists and tickets from Italy and...
I love her voice.
I'm sort of natural archivist, as they say.
Do you label them when you get home, or do you remember them all? You
Oh,
found
yes,
things.
I
You had
have massive files at home, yes.
you found a lovely grandfather's mirror. I read that in your book.
So amazing, yes, I did, yes.
Just
You get that? I found a grandfather's mirror.
Guys, where is she from?
just
Her accent is very is very soothing. Wherever she's from in England, I like that accent.
You get that? I found a grandfather's mirror. I'm sure you'd all like to make a note of that.
They won't have
go
to,
home
because
tonight.
it's all written down.
It's just written down. What is a grandfather's mirror?
It's a mirror of a grandfather.
Oh, ask a silly question.
Harry Spike.
You've got him on a good day.
I'm going to pursue my railway line to the end if it kills
Indeed,
me.
go on.
This man once said that
That's
Peter said-
always a line. Like if it kills me, right? I'm gonna get to the end of this line if it kills me, right? Which I've heard it, but is that more of a British saying? It's definitely an American thing too, but
I'm going to pursue my rail.
I'm gonna get to the end of this line
Railway line to the end of it kills me.
Indeed, go on.
This man once said that Peter Sellers, I'm jumping back again to Peter, who I didn't work with in a film, although it was billed Peter Sellers and other people filmed. He died before I got there. This man said he was a genius and a freak.
He died before you got there, did he?
Yes. Do you remember those extraordinary...
No, he should have hung on for another half hour, shouldn't he?
Do you remember those extraordinary films they made after he died, the Pink Panther
Yes,
films,
I remember.
where they
They took
used
all
off
the
cuts,
cuts.
and I was in them, but Peter, of course, was...
No, yeah.
Well, I remember. Do you know how he proposed to Anne Howard's he said to her, "I love you. Will you be my first wife?"
The thing about Peter was that he not only did the voices, but he became the characters. When he stood next to him at the microphone doing the Gold Show, he'd blow himself out for blood knock, and he'd cringe for crumb, and be tiny for blue bottle. Absolutely incredible. Wasn't he?
How about this? At 3 o'clock one morning, when I was living at Shepherd's Hill, he lived in the flat opposite. 3 in the morning, there's a knock on my door. And I usually shout. I shout to the letterbox, "There's a check in the post." All of it. I opened the door, and Peter Sellers was standing there naked with socks and shoes, umbrella, and a trilby hat. And he said to me, "Do you know a good tailor?"
I'm just happy when I get a joke.
Spike Milligan, Harry Seegan, thank you very much indeed. That's all.
It's not over yet, but even so, I got used to the accents at the end. Him, especially this guy, is a bit more difficult to understand. But I'm always curious, like when I notice accents, for you guys to tell me like where you think they're from, especially the host, the pretty lady. But even if I don't get anything, there's just something I love that's just soothing or fascinating to me, just about watching older footage of people in other countries, especially England. I love it. I don't know. Especially when I have people older in Britain who can explain.
For 2 weeks, you leave the country, particularly after this show, which is what I shall do. Now, the boy is back on Monday with his special guest, Billy Joel. So join him at 7 o'clock. Thank you.
Billy Joel? I'm in love. That was good. That was enjoyable in a kind of unique way that, believe me, if I don't like videos, I stop some and I just don't react to them, but in terms of these, it's really hard to, especially the further back in time it goes, to not be entertained in my eyes. Ooh. Should we do this? Maybe after? Seems like a really interesting guy. A lot of views on all of the videos he's in, so he's got to be pretty significant. Awesome, guys. I love y'all. Please help me out in the comments with some of the stuff. Some of the stuff I didn't understand. Any of the things I didn't understand. I appreciate it. And I hope you're all doing well. See you guys next time. Bye, guys.